Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and also welcome to Complete Chaos, otherwise known as the state of my flat right now. So today is one of my kit days, one of my keeping in touch days that I take while I'm on maternity leave. These are the days where my parents have Orin and I usually sit down and do a lot of work. I try and film one or two sit down videos and also try to edit at least one or two depending on how long I've got in the day and how long those videos are, etc. Or at least try to film and edit one or two videos. However, today is Wednesday and on Monday this week I got back at about like 2 a.m. in the morning after flying through the night back from Greece with Orin, where we were having a lovely holiday with some fellow solo mum friends of ours. There were 5 of us that went with our babies, so it was a great time, slightly chaotic at times, but it was an absolutely amazing time, so I'm so pleased I went. However, I am still knackered, and on Monday we actually spent the night at my parents' house because my mum very kindly picked me up from the airport because it was so late. I didn't want to have to worry about getting a taxi and stuff with Orin, and she brought us back to their house, and then I had a hospital appointment the next day actually, which was closer to their house too, so we just stayed the night when we got back. So we've been back in our flat for like 2 nights now, but yesterday I was still feeling absolutely exhausted from the travelling, just didn't really have the energy to do anything other than like put some of the washing on because I've got like loads of bags of washing to get through. So everything else has just been left how it was, and it just means that this flat is complete chaos. And honestly, I don't think I could sit and film any other video because I can see it in my vision and it's just gonna like bug me the whole day. But then I thought actually, instead of trying to do a sit down video today, I would just film the process of trying to sort it all out, because this is honestly another side of solo motherhood, or parenthood in general, particularly solo parenthood, that I think is worth sharing. And it's the mental and the physical load of solo parenting. Because there's no one else to share it with, it means that there's nobody else when I'm really tired, if I haven't slept well or whatever, there's no one else to say, could you just do like the washing today? Could you put the clothes away? Could you do the dishwasher? Like whatever. It's all down to me. And honestly, this is the bit of solo parenthood that I struggle with the most. I've always found it the most tricky part. I don't really struggle with looking after Orin, but with looking after him and juggling the housework, that's where my biggest weakness is. I do have a cleaner that I have that comes just once a month for 2 hours, and she will literally just give the place a good quick clean, which really helps me, particularly because I just don't think I'd have time to do everything. And generally speaking, I try each evening when Orin has gone to bed to do about 15 minutes of housework just to kind of stay on top of things. But because obviously there was the chaos of packing, also before we went away to Greece, we were only back for a week between my last holiday to Norway and then Greece because they just ended up being close together. I wouldn't have planned it that way, it's just how it happened. So it's just the accumulation of a couple of holidays packed quite closely together, plus being tired, and I'm just like, I can't stand the mess anymore. So today, we're gonna power through my to-do list, and I'm gonna bring you guys along for the ride so you can see just how much stuff is involved when you have the full parenting responsibility and the full household responsibility, and you're juggling it all and everything that's up here that also needs to get done. So here is my list so far that I obviously wrote last night as I was going to bed and should have been going to sleep, but my brain suddenly went, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. Don't we all know that feeling? So here is my list so far. I need to finish doing the washing. There has been 2 full bags worth of washing, which has had to be split between 3 washes. I've done 2 so far, I've got 1 more to go. Currently lots of laundry is hanging in my living room. I need to see if any of that is drying to be put away. And then if not, maybe debate doing the last load and putting it through the dryer. I'm not sure. We'll get to that in a bit. I need to unload and reload the dishwasher. I need to clean the kitchen. It's an absolute state at the moment. I need to check Orin's formula prescription with the GP. I need to meet with a celebrant. I need to pass on my frozen breast milk that I'm not using. I need to tidy up around the flat in general. I need to put his bassinet away that's currently in my room. I need to get out his next clothing size. I need to call HMRC, and I need to unbox my last stock box. So some of that will not make any sense, and I will explain it as the day goes on what all those bits are, but that is everything that I need to do today, and that is the reason why I decided not to do a sit down video. As well as all that, however, I do still have to edit a video, at least 1 video, and I also need to send out an invoice to a company I've done some work with. So there is still some work stuff going on. It is currently 9:45. Orin was picked up by my mum at 9 o'clock, and I have until 5 o'clock when I need to leave to go and get him. So I need to see if I can get all of that done today. First of all, however, I am still in my pajamas. I only woke up just before 9 this morning. Oren thankfully let me sleep most of the night. He only woke up once last night at about 3 a.m. and then he slept in until 7:45ish, frizzled a bit and then went back to sleep. So I just dozed until he finally woke up about 10 to 9, which was amazing because on holiday he was waking up pretty much every 2 hours. So I'm very thankful he's got better at his sleep again. I can cope with one waking in the night, but like every 2 hours is brutal. But anyway, I still haven't had breakfast, so my first task is going to be that, and also going through my emails, and then we will start working on this flat. It's 11 a.m. Guess who's procrastinating? Oh, I don't know why. I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but getting started is definitely the hardest bit. To be fair, I have only just finished breakfast. I'm quite a slow eater, and I've been watching Good Omens while I do it. So I think now might be a good moment to get started. Right, let's do it. Okay, well I think that's the kitchen mostly done. I'm not aiming for perfect today, I'm just kind of aiming for bearable. So that's been cleaned up a bit better. Washing is on, as you can hear. Emptied the dishwasher, so a few things ticked off. I now need to see how many of these clothes that are drying I can put away. I forgot that I hadn't even managed to finish unloading the wet clothes yesterday onto here because I ran out of space, so this should be fun. I've realised that quite a lot of that washing is still a bit damp, so I've only been able to make a little bit of room on there, so I imagine I am going to have to put some things through the dryer. But I have put the final load of washing on, which was my mission for today, so let's go through the tasks I've done so far and see what I can tick off on my list. So finish washing, I've done that. Unload and reload the dishwasher, I've done that. Clean the kitchen, I've done that. Okay, so now we have got some new things to get onto. I think actually at this point I've just realised that my pump that I use to pump while I'm working needed washing up just then, so I've put that in the drying rack, and I'm hoping it'll be dry enough for me to pump in about half an hour when I need to. If not, I'm going to have to use my other pumps, which I'm not such a big fan of, but it'll work if I need to. In the meantime, I'm actually going to do a little bit of my work for the day. I've got some emails to do, invoicing, etc. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and then I need to pump and probably have lunch. Excuse the washing machine going in the background. I actually decided that as I'm sitting down here, I would get some more of the sort of admin-y stuff that I had to do today done as well. So one of that was sorting out Oren's formula prescription with his GP. I've mentioned before he's got a specific formula prescription. It's actually been changed again because we think he has an allergy. So I've had to chase it. I saw a dietitian on Monday this week, and she sent a new prescription through, so I've got to chase them because we have some already, but I think it's only going to last the week, so I really want to get some more, preferably by Saturday. So I've just emailed the GP surgery to see if they can send that through quicker, because there's this whole like process of like the dietitian's got to send it to the GP, and the GP's got to send it to the pharmacy, and then I have to call the pharmacy to say can they order it in, and they don't often pick up the phone, so I often have to go into there and say can you get this in, because they don't have it in stock because it's quite a rare formula. It's a whole journey, medical admin, whole other side of things. But I've just sent that email through to the GP, which is all I was going to do today, so I can tick that off my list. And the thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to call HMRC, or more specifically I'm going to call the Department of Work and Pensions, because that's who I need to call to tell the date that I am going back to work properly, because like I've said, I've been doing my kit days through my maternity leave, but I now have a date that I'm going to officially like start working again, so I need to let them know. And I tried to call them yesterday, and I was on the phone for 25 minutes before I just decided to give up because Oren was not happy, and I was like, I can't be bothered to wait around any longer. So I'm going to try calling them now and hopefully get through. But if not, I think I'm going to have to send them a letter, because they don't have an email or like a form you can fill in on the website, because that would be far too modern. But I need to tell them that like I'm planning to go back to work so that they know to stop my maternity pay. So yeah, I need to try and get through to them today. So that's what I'm going to do now, and hopefully just leave my phone ringing near me, or maybe we'll get through today. Who knows? Let's see. You have to go through literally 3 different versions of this message before they will then put you on hold to speak to someone. I already know this. Can you just put me through to the right people? Okay, we're 3 minutes in. We finally got through all the messages. Let's see how long it takes for them to pick up. Because I'm currently on maternity allowance and I'm planning to go back to work next month, so I wanted to make sure you're aware of that. Okay, great, thank you so much. Of course, that was the perfect time for my washing machine to start making lots of noise, but we got through to an agent, and she sourced everything out, so that's good. It's kind of scary to be going back to work part-time, but full-time for me, coming off maternity leave officially. So yeah, but you know, new times ahead, so I'm glad I've sorted that out. That is another thing I can tick off my list. Right, now all that's sorted, it is currently 12:10, so it's time for me to pump. Annoyingly, the double Mum Cozy pump that I normally use is definitely too wet for me to use. I'm gonna have to leave that to dry for the rest of the day, I think. So I'm gonna have to use my sort of hodgepodge one. This is the Bella Baby, kind of cheap hands-free pump, and then I've got my Medela solo pump, and I'm gonna have to kind of like work out how to do it. I've done this before, so you know it is doable. It's just slightly annoying because I can't be hands-free, but hopefully I'll have one hand free to eat my cocktail sausages that I'm going to snack on before I have a proper lunch a little bit later, and maybe I'll continue watching Good Omens while I do this. So Good Omens actually ended up being quite a good distraction, and I was pumping for a good like 20, I think almost 30 minutes, and it's kind of hard to show with these two very different ways of collecting milk, but like I'm a bit relieved actually, because last night I only managed to pump I think about 70 or 80 ml total from both my boobs, and I think I've pumped nearly 50, 60, 70, almost 80 from just one, and probably around maybe 50 from the other. So I'll put these in a bottle and see how much I've got, but this is a good amount of milk, so I'm feeling a little bit more relieved being able to see that today. Obviously he hasn't fed for a number of hours now because he's been with my parents. But yeah, no, feeling good about this. I'm trying to come off my medication that I was put on to kind of boost my milk supply. Particularly now we think it wasn't actually low supply, it was probably an allergy causing some of his issues. So encouraging to see that I'm still producing a good amount of milk. So another thing that's on my list of jobs to do today is to unbox this box, which has come from the warehouse that stored all of my products for Precious Stars, did all the shipping and stuff for many years. And it's kind of a bittersweet moment because this is the last of the stock that we didn't sell at the end of last month. So basically, I think I've talked about, I might not have talked about this before on my channel, but I have on Instagram. I decided to shut down Precious Stars. I made the decision quite a long time ago actually, but I wanted to get it to its 10th birthday, which was back in May, and then I decided that I was going to shut it down so that I could focus on other things when I started going back to work with Oren, mainly this YouTube channel and like the sponsorship side of things too, because this was just, Precious Stars is obviously very special to me because I started it at 15, it's how this channel started, there's so much history to it, but I realised that I just didn't have the love for reusable menstrual products that I once did, and I didn't have the vision that I needed to kind of push the company forwards it more, and I made the decision that I was going to wrap it up, I close it down, and then focus more on my other streams of income, the YouTube channel and other things that I do too. So anyway, we had a big sale at the end of July and August to kind of sell off the rest of the stock. So these are the last bits that didn't sell in that sale. So I'm just going to unbox them now and see what we've got. It's interesting, I don't feel like really sad about this, I feel kind of excited because it's the start of a new chapter. What I'm going to do next, I've already kind of got a short-term plan, but in the longer term, like I might want to build a new career or something, I don't know. So this feels kind of like an exciting new chapter in some ways, and kind of like the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. So let's see what we've got in here. Okay, that's good. They sent me a stock list as well, so I know exactly what's in here. So the majority of this, I suspect, is going to be the budget pads that I've got, but I can see that there are a few of the Sparkle range actually. So I'm still deciding what to do with this. Oh, there's a kit as well. Oh my gosh, these bags, we've had them for ages. Little wet bags. A couple of the like Sparkle range. Oh my goodness, whale one. We had this for ages. People love this print. Oh my god, this print. This print was so popular. It's a whale print. And I was really proud of myself because I came up with the name Menstru Whale for it. I was really proud of myself for that one. So yeah, this is what it kind of looks like when you pack up a business and have the rest of the stock. So I've got to decide what to do with all these panty liners. Now the pads are kind of easy. It's the panty liners that I'm like not sure what to do with. I might sell the rest of these pads. Like I said, I'm really happy about it, but it still is kind of like, I don't know, there's a certain sense of melancholy, I can never pronounce that word right. I'm really pleased about like moving on with the next stage of my life, and it's like a lot of it's around Orion and like planning things to work best with, looking after him. But yeah, just kind of a big moment, I guess, to finally be saying goodbye to it all. Well, there you go. There is something really weird about seeing like the last 10 years of my life in a box. But yeah, new times. Oh, the weather today is absolutely foul. It is now 2:40. In about 20-ish minutes I need to pump again for the second time today, and then that'll be it for the day apart from this evening when Oren's gone to bed. I've had some lunch, finished watching the end of the first season of Great Omens, which was very good, really enjoyed it. Definitely will be watching season 2. And now I'm about to try some dairy-free lemon cheesecake that my mum made me, because this is one of my favourite recipes. And I'm trying to find as many things as possible that I can still have now that I can't eat dairy anymore. I mentioned before about the allergy that we think Oren's got. We think it's a cow's milk protein one, which means because I'm still breastfeeding, I can't have cow's milk either. So no cheese, no butter, and also soy. Got to avoid soy as well. Something to do with the protein there. So that's something that we're currently doing, and it seems to be working, so I'm just praying that it continues to do so, because I've been down this path before where I felt like I've been making progress, and then it's gone backwards, and now, you know, this time we're not changing anything, so hopefully it'll still be good in another couple of weeks. But yeah, that is, again, life admin, medical admin, everything going on. But one of the really sad things about that is that because I've been pumping and storing my milk for many months, I have a freezer full of milk, express breast milk, that before Oren was having when he went to my parents, like today, and they would give it to him there. But he can't have it now because it's got dairy in it. So I've decided to donate it instead, and there's somebody hopefully coming later on to pick it up. She did just message me. I said she had to come either before 4 because I've got a meeting at 4, or after 7 because that's when I get back and when Oren's gone to bed. So she was originally going to come before 4, but she just messaged me to say they're going to be here later on this evening instead, which is fine. But I'm just glad that somebody else can make use of that milk, because it's about 5,000 ml. Like, I worked so hard for that milk. I don't have a particularly great supply. I thought it was low for a long time because he wasn't gaining weight properly. And now it looks like that wasn't the issue, but I've pumped every evening for many months, and now he can't actually have that milk, which really, really sucks. But hopefully another baby can make use of it. So that still has to happen. But going back to my list for the day, I've actually ticked off quite a few things on here. I felt like I was procrastinating a lot because I was having a really like luxurious slow lunch. But actually on my list I've got meet with celebrant, that's at 4 o'clock today, and that's virtual. Pass on the frozen milk, well, I've just said that that's happening later on. The only other things I've got left to do are tidy up around the flat, which is just a general tidy up, and to be honest, is kind of what I'm doing as the day goes on. Plus I've actually realised because the washing, there's so much more washing anyway, it's probably not really possible to do a lot of tidying. I need to put the bassinet away. That is one thing I do want to do. Oren is now 7 months, and he hasn't been in that bassinet since he was 4.5 months. I've just kind of kept it because, I don't know, I just thought maybe if he was ill one night and he needs to be in with me, he could, but like, he would not sleep in that thing now. He just moves so much, like, there's no point in it even being up. It's just taking up room in my bedroom, so I need to put it away, but it's gonna be really sad. And then the last thing on my list is to get out the next clothing size, and to be honest, I'm not 100% sure I need to do that, because actually I think he still fits most of his clothes he's currently got. And I'm slowly putting things away, so that's not an urgent thing to do today. It's mainly put the bassinet away. It's the other thing I've got to do, and finish up some of my work, although I have done all the invoicing and other things too. So actually, I feel like I'm procrastinating, but I am making progress, so that's good. This is a very fetching angle, but I am now going to put away the bassinet that has been in my room for a while. There's a few bits under here that I also need to clear up, and honestly, I've been using this bassinet as storage for all the crap that I can't be bothered to put away in my room, so it's going to hopefully encourage me to do that too. I have around, because I had to pump, I have around 20 minutes left before I'm having the call with the celebrant, so I need to do this quickly. This is going well. The floor space cleared out. Now I just need to sort out all that stuff on the bed, and then we're done. Whew. So finished doing the bedroom. That looks much better at least. The rest of the place still looks a bit of a mess. I've just put the last load of laundry. I basically fished out anything that I thought had plastic in it, like there was one of Oren's like bibs in there. So I fished that out and put the rest of it back in the washing machine and put it on a drying cycle because I cannot bear to have more mess around. Even though I've done washing, I've like sorted out what I've got. It still feels like the room is chaos. I'll show you. Like, there's still a whole load of washing here. Some of it's folded up. The kitchen does look a bit better, thank God, but there's still lots of stuff in there. And the thing is, like, this is just the endless cycle of parenting and housework, I find, because you get to the point where you've just cleared up, I don't know, the washing, cooking, whatever it is, whatever you've just done, you just clean it up and got it really nice, and then something else needs to be washed, or something else needs to hang up to dry. And it's just like this constant cycle of there's always mess somewhere. Because I've got a flat and I haven't got a big enough room for a utility room, I think it also makes it look a bit worse than it would if I had one of those. But I think this is just one of those things that I struggle to accept mentally, that actually, yeah, there is going to be lots of mess for quite some time, unless I want to spend my life literally cleaning and tidying every single day, like for hours. The home is going to be chaos, and I don't like cleaning and tidying every day for hours, so that's definitely not going to happen. So I've just got to accept that sometimes it's going to look like this, but this is a home that is lived in, that is loved in, and yeah, it might look crazy sometimes. Anyway, it is now about 2 minutes to 4. I need to jump on this call with the celebrant. I'll talk a bit more about what that was like afterwards, and then depending on how long this call takes, I don't think it'll take a full hour. I might have time to start a little bit of extra work because I haven't even had a chance to do any editing yet. This is the thing, like all the life admin just takes over. But if I have some time, I might do that, but then I've got to go pick him up at 5 o'clock. Oh, my hair is determined to have like this little peak look today, but whatever. So that was really good. Ended up only being about 15-20 minutes in the end. Please excuse the dryer going in the background. But basically, I was just speaking to a humanist celebrant who is hopefully going to do a naming ceremony for me and Oren, well, for Oren, really. Basically, I went back and forth for a long time over whether or not to have a christening. I really was like, oh, I'm not sure. Mainly because I love the traditional aspect of it, of like getting the family together and welcoming him to the world, having like a celebration for him. But realistically, I'm just not religious anymore, or really ever really that much. So it just, like, even though I was baptised myself, it just doesn't feel right to do it to him. And there's lots of different parts of Christianity which I just personally don't agree with anymore. But again, I was so torn because a lot of people I think now have baptisms and christenings more through the traditional aspect rather than like the religious stuff in the UK at least. But anyway, I finally decided I wasn't going to do a christening, but I felt a bit sad that he wasn't going to have like that moment, or at least I wasn't going to have that moment as well, of being able to kind of like welcome him to a group of friends and family, close friends and family, and say, you know, welcome to the world, celebrating him and his, you know, him being here now, particularly because I had such a difficult time in pregnancy, and like the last major thing I had for him was like my gender reveal party, which as a tea party itself, it was lovely. I had just a small group of friends. It was a really nice time, but I had one of my worst mental health episodes right after that, and so it's kind of tainted by that. So I wanted to have something kind of like a clean slate, a fresh start. And another mum friend of mine mentioned naming ceremonies, and I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. So I did some more research on it, and I decided that that was something that looked really good, and so I've decided to go ahead and do that. So currently in the midst of planning all that, which has been really fun. Also great for keeping me awake at night when he's wanting a night feed. I've been on Pinterest, like looking up decoration ideas and everything, and how I want to do up the hall and all that, so that's been quite fun to plan as well. Honestly, I don't think I've ever invested as much time into any of my own parties or celebrations as I have into this one. Probably just another part of being a mum, who knows? But I'm having a really great time planning it, so it feels really nice to have something positive to focus on in this kind of like nice event coming up. I haven't actually sent out any official invitations yet, but the people who are kind of like key, who I wanted to come, I've sort of asked them to just save the date, and it looks like we might be able to get quite a few people there, so that'll be really nice too. Anyway, it is now 4:20, so I've got another sort of 30-40 minutes to do some work in. I think I might start editing a video now, or wait until I've picked him up and he's gone to bed later. Depending on that. And most importantly, I'm going to have some more lemon cheesecake, because this lemon cheesecake is amazing. My mum did a great job. She used the Oatly double cream, I think, if you're wondering how she did it, but oh my god, so tasty. It's really dark because I've just turned off all the lights, because it is now just gone past 5 o'clock, so it's time to go pick up my baby. I love this moment. Like, I enjoy having the time when I enjoy being able to like put my brain to use with like business and work and stuff, and like that creative space again, even though I haven't done much of that today. But to be honest, I think I needed a a day to sort myself and sort out some bits of the house and housework, just to kind of feel more grounded and like I'm in a better place to parent as well. And I did also get some work done too. So I do really like this time that I get, and particularly because it's not every day, it's kind of like at the moment once a week, and that'll increase a bit when I go back to working more full time as well. But I do also really love going and picking him up too and getting that smile when he sees me and recognises me. Now he's old enough to do that, which is like, ah, so cute. And the way that we do this now is I will go, my mum picks him up in the morning for me, I will go and pick him up now, but I won't take him home straight away. I'll go and stay with them for a bit, chat, we'll have dinner together, and then just before around like 6 o'clock when it's starting to come up to Oren's bedtime, that's when we will head back home and I will put him to bed. Oh, God, I'm tired. It is 7 o'clock now. I got back about 15 minutes ago with Oren, put him straight down to bed. He's hopefully sleeping now, but I will keep my voice down a bit just in case. I felt like I hadn't actually done that much so far today, but then I look back at my to-do list and I've got a surprising number of things ticked off. I just also ticked off, you know, talking to the celebrant and putting the bassinet away, because those are two other things I did. Tidying up around the flat, I kind of did that, maybe not as much as I wanted to, but I was like, I'll take it off anyway. So the only two things left to do are pass on the frozen milk that I have and get out Oren's next clothing size. Decided that actually Oren's not growing out of things just enough yet, so I don't need to do that one. And I've had a message from the lady who's picking up my the breast milk that I'm donating that's been frozen, and she's coming around 7:40, so hopefully that will get done too. So actually I've got through most of my list, which is why I think it's really helpful doing lists on days like this, because then you actually tick things off and feel like you're making some progress. But yeah, I am absolutely knackered, and I think my body's just like trying to catch up with the sleep it didn't get on Sunday night when we flew back, because I barely got any sleep that night. And my body's clearly telling me that I really need it. I think after that's done, I'm just gonna have a really chill evening. I may not even pump this evening, to be honest. I might go to bed even earlier, so I guess we'll just see. So the lady that was picking up the milk has just been, and she brought me flowers. How cute is that? I said to her, you know, it's not a big, well, it's a big thing because obviously I pump that milk and like I'm sad I can't use it, but I'm just so pleased it can be used by another baby, and particularly one who doesn't really take to formula, so that's quite nice. But oh, I just thought it was really sweet. Well, it is now 11 p.m. at night, so my plan to go to bed early has worked well. Honestly, this happens every night, and I'm sure it happens to a lot of parents out there. I just like, it's the little bit of time in the evening I have, well, not today because obviously Oren was with my parents, so I actually had more time, but often this is the only time I have to get any kind of admin work done, time to sit down and watch a video, time to read a book, all of that stuff, so I inevitably end up staying later, even if I'm really tired. Although I must say, I did get a second wind a bit later on this evening. I think after the lady came and picked up the breast milk, I actually felt like I had a bit more energy, so I sat down and started watching Good Omens season 2. I decided actually it wasn't worth doing any editing tonight because I am still quite tired, and so any editing work I did, I probably would just make mistakes and create more work for myself later on, so actually it was just better to leave that and sort of draw a line under that today and go, do you know what, today was a life admin task day and a physical, like, getting the house back together type day, even though it doesn't look any better currently. I know because I made that list and I've been able to tick all those things off that actually I got pretty much everything except one thing done on my list today, which is actually really good. And sometimes I think it's okay to like feel like you haven't had as productive a day as you necessarily wanted to, but like I was so tired today that actually resting has been good for me. And when I do go to sleep in a minute, hopefully I will get a better night's sleep and feel a bit more rested when I wake up tomorrow morning, as opposed to this morning where I felt super knackered even after I'd been asleep. But hopefully this video just gave you like a small little insight into the kind of mental and physical load that as solo parents you have to carry, and like how you have to constantly be juggling doing one task or another and sacrificing some things in favour of others, and just working out where your comfort zone is, where your line is with certain things. And it's something you have to do because we've been told we can have it all, but the truth is we do it all. And so if we do it all, sometimes in order for us to feel like we have time for ourselves, or to feel like we're not being completely swamped by what's going on, we have to prioritise the things that actually matter to us, as opposed to the things that maybe other people tell us should matter to us, and just kind of work from there. But yeah, I have now finished pumping my last pumping session of the day, put it in the fridge, put some in the freezer, so at least I'm starting to rebuild my new stash again. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Do please subscribe, and I will catch you in a little bit.